The banishment. The transmission cut through every device on Earth simultaneously. Holoprojectors in living rooms, neural implants, public displays in megacities from Neo-Shanghai to Atlantis Prime, all carried the same message. The face of High Chancellor Six-Falter of the Galactic Alliance, with its 6 violet eyes arranged in perfect symmetry across grayish skin, filled every screen. Commander Elena Reyes stood motionless in the Central Command headquarters in Geneva, her dark eyes fixed on the alien face as it began to speak. The words came through the universal translator, but the contempt needed no interpretation. Citizens of Earth and her colonies, the High Chancellor's voice resonated with artificial perfection. The Galactic Council has reached its verdict. For crimes against member species, technological transgressions, and violations of sovereign space, Earth is hereby expelled from the Alliance, effective immediately. Elena's fists clenched at her sides. Around her, the command center fell silent. 50 of Earth's top military and scientific minds frozen in disbelief. All Earth vessels must withdraw to Sol system within 30 standard cycles. Any human ship found beyond your home system's boundary will be considered hostile and treated accordingly. Earth colonies on shared worlds will be evacuated. Your diplomatic missions will cease operations. Your trading rights are revoked. Admiral William Chen, Earth's representative to the Alliance for 15 years, slammed his palm against the holodeble. This is madness. We've been framed. The High Chancellor continued, merciless. The evidence of your barbarism is irrefutable. The massacre at Proxima Station, the technological theft on Kepler 22 bits, the biological contamination of 3 Trilaxian worlds. Elena knew the truth. Earth forces had responded to attacks at those locations, not instigated them. They'd found evidence of a third party, a shadow manipulator turning Alliance species against one another. But the Council had refused to hear it. The exile is permanent, Six-Falter concluded. Earth stands alone. The transmission ended. For 3 heartbeats, not a soul moved in the command center. Then Admiral Chen turned to Elena, his weathered face grim with determination. Commander Rise, Project Phoenix is now active. You know what that means. She nodded. The contingency they'd hoped would never be necessary. Humanity's answer to exile. Within hours, the consequences of the Alliance decree became apparent. Thousands of Earth ships throughout Alliance space reported being denied docking permissions. Emergency distress calls flooded in from human colonies on shared worlds as local authorities began forcible evacuations. The interstellar trade network that had sustained Earth's economy for generations vanished overnight. Elena led her team to the underground facility beneath the Alps where Project Phoenix had been quietly developing for the past 5 years. Dr. Amma Okafor, Earth's leading xenobiologist, greeted them at the reinforced doors. They've made a terrible mistake, Dr. Okafor said, her voice carrying the musical lilt of her West African heritage. Casting us out will only accelerate what they fear most. The facility hummed with activity. Scientists and engineers working with determination rather than panic. Elena felt a surge of pride. This was humanity at its best, facing adversity with innovation and grit. Show me what we've accomplished, Elena said. Dr. Okafor led her through labs where technologies developed without Alliance oversight took shape. Propulsion systems that didn't rely on the regulated quantum fold network. Communication arrays that wouldn't need Alliance relay stations. Weapons designed specifically to counter Alliance defense systems. We've been preparing since the first false accusations 3 years ago, Dr. Okafor explained. The Admiral suspected this day might come. In the central chamber, a massive holographic display showed the status of Earth's colonies throughout Alliance space. One by one, they were going dark as humans were forced to evacuate. Millions of displaced people would soon be streaming back to an already crowded Earth. We can't sustain this, Elena said. We need to find who's really behind the attacks. Captain Hiroshi Tanaka, her second in command, stepped forward. We might have something. Before communications were cut, our covert team on Sirius IV transmitted these. The holodisplay shifted to show grainy footage of shadowy figures moving through what appeared to be an Alliance research station. Their forms seemed to waver and shift, almost fluid in nature. "What are they?" Elena asked, leaning closer. "We're not sure," Tanaka replied. "But they've been present at each incident blamed on Earth. We're calling them Void Harbingers for now." Dr. Okafor's fingers danced across the interface, enhancing the images. "They're not any Alliance species I recognize. And look, they're manipulating Alliance security systems, making it appear as though human signatures were present." Elena studied the footage carefully. "This is the evidence we need to clear Earth's name." "The Alliance won't listen," Admiral Chen said, entering the chamber. "Not anymore. Their minds are made up. We need to focus on survival now and gathering strength." Over the next 6 months, Earth transformed. Without Alliance restrictions on technological development, human innovation exploded. The first independent quantum fold drive was tested successfully, allowing Earth ships to travel without using Alliance networks. Defense systems evolved rapidly, incorporating concepts that had been forbidden under Alliance treaties. But hardship came too. Without access to resources from hundreds of worlds, scarcity became a reality again. Rationing was implemented globally. Former colonies crowded onto Earth, straining infrastructure. Yet unity prevailed where chaos might have reigned. Humanity, faced with isolation, turned inward and found strength. Elena led reconnaissance missions to the edge of Sol system, carefully mapping Alliance blockade patterns. The alien ships maintained a constant presence just beyond Neptune's orbit, a reminder of humanity's new boundaries. On one such mission, her ship, the ESS Defiant, detected an anomalous signal from beyond the blockade. Against regulations, Elena decided to investigate, using the prototype stealth systems to slip past Alliance patrols. The signal led to an abandoned mining outpost on a small moon orbiting a gas giant. As Elena and her team explored the derelict facility, they discovered something extraordinary. A chamber filled with technology unlike anything in Alliance space. "This isn't Alliance tech," Lieutenant Faridi said, scanning the strange crystalline structures that pulsed with inner light. "It's something else entirely." At the center of the chamber stood what appeared to be a control console. When Elena approached, it activated, projecting a holographic message. The figure that appeared was humanoid, but clearly not human. Tall and slender with skin like polished obsidian that reflected starlight. "If you are viewing this message, then our calculations were correct," the figure said in a voice that seemed to bypass their translation systems and speak directly to their minds. "Your species has been identified as having the necessary traits to resist the Harbingers." Elena felt a chill run through her. "The Void Harbingers, they are real. We are the Archivers, an ancient race nearly destroyed by those you call Harbingers. They consume civilizations, turning species against one another before feeding on the chaos. Your Alliance is their next target. And you, humans, were recognized as the greatest threat to their plans." The message continued, explaining how the Harbingers had manipulated events to ensure humanity's exile. Earth's tendency to question authority, to innovate beyond established parameters, to fight against impossible odds. These made humans dangerous to the Harbingers' gradual infiltration of the Alliance. "Before our civilization fell, we created weapons, technologies that could identify and destroy the Harbingers. We have hidden these throughout the galaxy, waiting for worthy successors. You have found the first key." The hologram gestured to the crystalline structures. "This technology will recognize Harbinger biology in any form. With it, you can prove your innocence, but more importantly, you can fight back." As the message ended, the crystals began to emit data streams, downloading directly into their systems. Dr. Okafor, who had accompanied the mission, stared in wonder at her tablet. This changes everything," she whispered. "With this, we can identify these Harbingers wherever they're hiding. Elena nodded, her mind racing with possibilities. And we can show the Alliance what they've done, turning away their strongest ally just when they needed us most. The discovery energized Project Phoenix. Within weeks, the Archiver technology had been integrated into Earth's new defense systems. The first test came when a lone Void Harbinger was detected attempting to infiltrate Luna Base. The crystalline detection grid immediately identified it despite its perfect disguise as a human technician. When confronted, the creature revealed its true form, a writhing mass of darkness that seemed to bend light around it. It fought fiercely, but was eventually contained using the Archiver technology. Dr. Okafor's team studied the captured entity, learning crucial information about the Harbinger's biology and weaknesses. They're parasites, she reported to Elena and Admiral Chen. They attach themselves to a host civilization, manipulating it from within, causing conflicts that generate the psychic energy they feed on. Admiral Chen looked grim. And they orchestrated our exile because we were capable of detecting them. Yes, Elena confirmed, but they've made a critical error. By isolating us, they've actually accelerated our development. Without Alliance restrictions, we've advanced more in 6 months than we would have in a decade. The Admiral nodded slowly. Then it's time for the next phase of Project Phoenix. If the Alliance won't hear us, we'll make them see. Elena looked at the tactical display, showing the positions of Alliance blockade ships. Beyond them lay hundreds of worlds now forbidden to humanity, worlds increasingly under threat from an enemy they didn't even know existed. The Harbingers wanted us isolated and forgotten, she said. Instead, they've created their worst nightmare, a humanity with nothing left to lose. As she spoke, engineers across Earth were already retrofitting ships with the new technologies. Scientists were developing weapons specifically designed to combat the Harbingers. Intelligence operatives were establishing covert communication channels with humans who had managed to remain in Alliance space. Project Phoenix was entering its final stage, the moment when humanity would rise from the ashes of exile and return to the stars. Not as supplicants begging for raid mission, but as saviors armed with fire and fury, and the Alliance would soon learn exactly what they had cast aside. The Ritsikeoning. 10 years passed since the day Earth was cast out from the galactic community. 10 years of innovation born from necessity. 10 years of humanity rebuilding, strengthening, and preparing. 10 years of watching the Alliance worlds through covert operatives as the Void Harbingers slowly spread their influence. Commander Elena Reyes, now Admiral Reyes, stood on the bridge of the HFY Phoenix, Earth's most advanced warship. At 52, silver streaked her once black hair, but her eyes remained sharp as she studied the tactical display. The Phoenix hung in the shadow of a gas giant, undetectable to Alliance sensors. Before them lay Centauri Prime, the diplomatic heart of the Galactic Alliance. Stealth systems holding steady, reported Captain Tanaka, who had remained her loyal second for the past decade. Alliance patrols are maintaining standard patterns. They have no idea we're here. Elena nodded. And our operative. In position, Admiral. Team Shadowfall has successfully infiltrated the Central Archives. The mission represented years of planning. Deep in the Alliance Central Archives lay the proof they needed, records of the Void Harbinger's manipulation, evidence of humanity's innocence, and data on the extent of the Harbinger infiltration throughout Alliance space. All ships report ready. Admiral, Communications Officer Lai announced. Operation Daybreak awaits your command. Elena took a deep breath. Across 20 star systems, Earth's fleet, now 117 ships strong, waited in stealth positions. Each vessel carried technology that had evolved far beyond what the Alliance could imagine. Freed from regulatory restrictions and driven by survival, human engineers had created miracles. Commence Operation Daybreak, Elena ordered. All teams proceed according to plan. On Centauri Prime, Dr. Emma Okafor moved silently through the vast archives complex. A decade older but still possessing the same determination, she led a team of Earth's best infiltration specialists. They carried compact versions of the Archiver detection technology, scanning for Harbinger presence. "Central Security Hub ahead," whispered Lieutenant Faridi, now a weathered veteran of covert operations. "Sensors show 4 guards. No, wait. One is giving off Harbinger signatures." Dr. Okafor adjusted her scanner. "Confirmed. The shift supervisor has been compromised." With practiced precision, the team deployed a targeted electromagnetic pulse designed to disrupt Harbinger neural patterns without harming the host. The disguised creature collapsed, while the other guards merely looked confused for a moment. "Security systems neutralized," Faridi reported. "We have access." Dr. Okafor moved quickly to the central database terminal. Her fingers flew across the alien interface, implementing the specialized decryption algorithms Earth had developed specifically for Alliance systems. "I'm in," she said after several tense minutes. "Downloading the Harbinger files now." Across Alliance space, similar scenes unfolded. Earth operatives who had remained hidden for years emerged to confront exposed Harbingers. The specialized weapons were distributed to Alliance security forces, allowing them to defend themselves for the first time. On the Phoenix, Alina received the reports with grim satisfaction. Phase 2 complete. The Alliance has the evidence and the means to fight back. Captain Tanaka approached with a communication tablet. "Admiral, we're receiving a direct transmission from the High Chancellor. He's requesting to speak with you." The face of Zix Veltor appeared on the main screen, his expression subdued. "Admiral Reyes, it appears we owe humanity a profound apology." Alina's expression remained neutral. "Apologies won't bring back the dead, Chancellor, or restore the years of exile." "No," he agreed, "but perhaps cooperation can prevent further losses. These Harbingers, they are unlike anything we have encountered. Your weapons are the only effective defense we have." "That's why we're here," Alina said. "Not for revenge, but because despite everything, humanity still believes in protecting the innocent, even those who wronged us." The negotiations that followed were complex but productive. The Exile decree was unanimously repealed. Earth representatives were invited back to the Council, not as supplicants, but as equals. The technological innovations humanity had developed during isolation were recognized as legitimate and sovereign. But the Harbinger threat remained. Intelligence gathered by Earth operatives indicated a home base, a massive installation hidden in the dark space between spiral arms, from which they had been orchestrating their infiltration for centuries. "We need to take the fight to them," Alina told the newly formed Joint Earth Alliance Command. "Cut off the head." The assault fleet that assembled was the largest in galactic history. Earth's advanced warships formed the vanguard, their stealth systems and Arkever-derived weapons, making them uniquely suited to combat the Harbingers. Behind them came the might of the Alliance, thousands of ships representing dozens of species, all now united against a common enemy. The battle for the Harbinger installation was brutal and devastating. The parasitic entities fought with desperate ferocity, revealing capabilities beyond what even Earth's intelligence had discovered. Their installation was a living thing, parts of it morphing and adapting to attacks in real time. Alina commanded from the Phoenix, coordinating the multi-species fleet with precision born from years of planning for this moment. Earth ships punched through the Harbinger defenses, creating openings for Alliance vessels to deliver their payloads. "Their central core is exposed," Tanaka reported as the battle reached its climax. "But our weapons aren't penetrating the final barrier." Dr. Okafor, who had insisted on joining the mission, studied the readings. "It's adaptive shielding. It's learning from each attack we launch." Alina considered their options. The fleet had taken heavy losses. They wouldn't get another chance at this. "There's one technology we haven't deployed," she said quietly. "The Phoenix Protocol." Tanaka's eyes widened. "Admiral, that's untested in combat conditions. The power requirements alone will drain our systems completely," Alina finished. "I know, but it's designed specifically to counteract Harbinger adaptive capabilities. It's our best chance. The Phoenix Protocol was the culmination of everything humanity had learned about the Harbingers, a weapon that replicated the crystalline technology of the Archivers, but amplified 1,000-fold. It wouldn't just destroy Harbingers, it would unravel the very fabric of their existence. All Allied ships pull back to minimum safe distance, Elena ordered. Phoenix is initiating final protocol. The massive Earth flagship moved into position alone, its advanced engines pushing it to the heart of the Harbinger installation. As Allied ships retreated, the Phoenix began to glow with building energy. Protocol charged to maximum capacity, reported engineering. Firing solution locked. Elena took one last look at the tactical display. This moment represented the culmination of a decade of exile, innovation, and determination. Humanity had been cast out, but returned stronger than ever, not just to clear their name, but to save the very civilization that had rejected them. Fire. The energy wave that burst from the Phoenix was like nothing the galaxy had ever witnessed. It expanded in a perfect sphere, passing harmlessly through normal matter, but tearing apart the unique biological signature of Harbinger tissue. The installation shuddered, its adaptive surfaces unable to counter the attack. From within, light began to pour through widening cracks. The Phoenix, drained of power, began to drift as the installation collapsed in on itself. All engines dead, Tanaka reported. We're caught in the gravity well. Helena nodded calmly. Send the evacuation order. All hands to escape pods. Admiral, he said hesitantly, the bridge escape pods were damaged in the approach. There's no way out for command staff. She had known this might happen. The Phoenix Protocol had always been a sacrifice play, a fitting name for humanity's final answer to exile. Then we finish our mission, Captain. It's been an honor. As escape pods launched from the lower decks, carrying most of the crew to safety, the Phoenix was drawn inexorably toward the collapsing Harbinger structure. Alliance rescue ships raced to recover the evacuees, while the command crew of the Phoenix watched the destruction of humanity's greatest enemy. In her final moments, Elena thought not of vengeance satisfied but of futures preserved. Earth had answered exile, not just with fire, but with salvation for all. 3 months later, in the rebuilt council chamber on Centauri Prime, a statue was unveiled, a perfect replica of the Phoenix, rendered in crystalline material that caught and scattered light in brilliant patterns. Beneath it, a simple inscription. They were cast out from the stars, but returned with fire and wisdom. Humanity, defenders of the galaxy. High Chancellor Zixvaltar, standing before representatives of every Alliance species and the newly appointed human delegation, spoke words that would be recorded in the histories of 100 worlds. We feared their independence. We punished their innovation. We rejected their warnings. And in our darkest hour, they returned not for revenge, but for redemption, not just their own, but ours as well. From this day forward, no species shall be judged by fear, but by actions. No innovation shall be stifled, but guided. And Earth, once exiled, shall stand as an equal partner in our united future. Among the human delegation stood Dr. Emma Okafor, now Earth's representative to the Alliance. She thought of Elena and the others who had not returned from the final battle. Their sacrifice had transformed exile into triumph, isolation into strength, rejection into respect. Beyond the council chamber, Earth ships now moved freely through Alliance space once more, but they were different vessels than those that had been banished a decade before. Advanced, powerful, respected. Human innovation had flourished in the crucible of exile, producing technologies that would now benefit all species. The stars that had once been forbidden now welcomed humanity's return, not as subjects or supplicants, but as saviors who had answered fire with fire and exile with excellence. And somewhere in the darkness between the stars, the last message from the Phoenix continued to echo, a testament to humanity's enduring spirit. We remember the exile. We returned with fire. We forged the future together.